Namaskaram. It has been a while since I have spoken to you last. As I have mentioned that I've been earning a living. So for the most part, it's the busy season. It's the it's the busy season. It's the Christmas season. Is the holiday season basically. So I have mentioned that for the most part, I've been working from home, or I was, but since the Christmas getting closer and stuffs like that, since the Christmas getting closer and stuffs like that, it is getting busier and busier. And so I was lately um, going to the sites, and I was lately visiting the sites and stuff, and inspecting the sites and all that. But as I have mentioned to you, my job here on this planet Earth, I am very precise and I am very focused. So I do not deviate or I do not bend from my real purpose. You see, it's very, very possible. The more fascinated you are things around you, the more you want to have control on the things around you, if you understand. The more you are fascinated by the things around you, the more you want to have control around you want to have a certain type of control on the things and the beings around you, while you cannot take charge of your own memories and you cannot take charge of your own emotions, your feelings, what you feel at any given moment. And if you are feeling, if you are vulnerable, if you are you're feeling, if what you are feeling is not very pleasant, if you find yourself majorly concerned, if you find yourself majorly concerned with everybody around you, and if you find yourself majorly concerned with other people's business, then it means that you need to look at your life, and you need to look at your life very quickly. If you understand, it means there is something which need to be taken care of. It means there must be. It means there must be some remedy that you gotta do for the disorder or disease of your soul. There are so many diseases which are attached. There are so many diseases which are connected to our body. But there are so many diseases which are connected to our soul. It's like a cancer. No matter what society that is, no society is exempted. I do not know when did this start, but I know for a fact the person who is conducting that kind of act and those who are participating in this kind of act, basically it is detrimental for their spiritual growth, which we understand as gossip. No matter what society you go, no society is exempted. The root cause of it is it's a mindful, for one. When you feel that you have nothing to do, but your mind wants to do something, and you, of course, are a slave of your mind, and you, of course, have given too much power, too much charge to your mind, and you listen to it, then you give in to it. Gossip, sadly and unfortunately, is one way to feed the mind. When you are bored, it's better to remain super, if you understand. When you are bored, it's better to remain super silent, you see, than to talk about somebody who is not around. There is no fun in this, if you know. There is no fun in this. The person you are gossiping about, the person you are talking about, the person is not even there to defend themselves. So, what is the fun basically? And gossips, the poison we humans have learned, unfortunately, to spill towards each other so thoughtlessly, mostly are based on assumptions. Now, the question becomes: some people say gossip is fun, and some people believe that some people say gossip is fun and it's harmless, if you know. So the thing is, this is a very wrong perception. That's why this disorder of our soul, that's why this disease of our soul has spread around on a rapid speed like a plague or like a cancer. Because the perception and other help you to remain in the misery of gossips and to remain in the misery in the dream of gossips by telling you, yeah, it's totally harmless. We are not saying on her face, or we are not saying on his face. Gossip, unfortunately, has become now a way that we humans bond with each other. You see, gossip has become, unfortunately, now a way that we have the need that we have developed to be accepted in the society and take side. If somebody is in correctional facility, I can understand the person cannot survive on its own the way what goes on in the correctional facility in prisons. So over there, the one who is on his or her own, they are more vulnerable. Anyway, we are not talking about that. I made this point because you are not in that condition. You are not facing those circumstances. I made this point because you are enslaved and you are in the prison of your own mind, which is very hard to break. You know why? Because when you are breaking the prison of your own mind, you are going against everything that you are told. Or not every you are not everything that you are told you are going against, but at least you are challenging, at least you are looking at it, and at least you are trying to dismantle it, and you are questioning it. If you know that whether it is bringing joy, peace, and happiness in my life, or whether it is making me miserable. You have become so used to of gossiping about the people who are not around you that you now have started to believe a lie, which is it is fun and it is harmless. No, it is not harmless. I have given you an example before numerous times. Imagine a person has the wrong intention of stealing something from a business. Imagine hypothetically, to elaborate what I'm saying to you. Now, this person goes around, this person says there are surveillance cameras around. The person who has that kind of ill intention to steal something from somewhere or someone, they always look for who is looking at them, mind you. So they are looking around. There are a couple of cops walking here and there. There are other people, quite a few people. The intention in the person is as soon as I get the opportunity, I would act on my intention and I would steal a commodity. I'm elaborating that how it works. But the cops are very vigilant and the surveillance cameras are there. A lot of people, if you understand, a lot of people are there. So what happens is this person is defeated, you see, but the person is not exempt. The person did not commit the crime, you see, didn't steal. Of course, no crime happened, so the person is not liable, but within the intention was ill. That is something the person has generated, you see, because the person within had the intention to steal. It does not matter. It matters not whether the person acted on it or not. It may matter what it may matter in this reality what the person is experiencing. It may matter in this reality what the person is experiencing, this outer reality, because obviously is there is no crime committed, but within that person, in the end of the day, when the person looks at the mirror, the person has to answer herself or himself, Whether you acted or not, you created karma. Human mind, I have mentioned to you, just like that gossip works. Whether the person you are gossiping about heard you or did not hear you, it matters not. Your intention is well. Gossip is detrimental to your spiritual growth. This is why it was so significant for me to speak about it. And when I ask humans that why are you talking about somebody who's not even around, they tell me it is harmless. As I mentioned in the beginning of this video, mostly working from home, but visiting and inspecting the sites, I keep myself to myself. I'm a people person, do not get me wrong. I like to be around people. So I do both. I teach them here yoga and meditation here on the screen, and I also teach them, of course, in person. And I try to resolve the issues, not only because of the projects I take, because I gotta pay the bills too, but also in a journal way. I try to reduce their confusion. Now, do not let my nipple distract you, okay? And do not try to suck on it either. I bring humor time to time because the issues I bring clarity here are concerned to our spiritual series always, and spiritually is such a dry topic. So I crack a joke here and there. Just like that, you have the intention to suck on my nipple, but obviously the circumstances are not your favor, so you are not acting on it. I'm just joking with you. Anyway, but that example I gave you, the thief and his intention or her intention is not a joke, means it's an example to bring clarity, to let you know whether the person here, what the filth you are spewing out of your mouth about somebody, the lies you are spreading, is not harmless. You are accumulating karma. You understand? You are creating through your intention. Intention is the birth. Intention is the birth of creation, if the birth. And you are, as long as you have an intention, what are you doing basically? Based on your compulsion, just because you are bored, you are literally putting gasoline on the fire, and it would go rapidly. It Fire would start so rapidly that you can't even begin to imagine. Now, imagine your mind, which is very fertile for concepts, ideas, ground, and perceiving reality. Your mind is the fire, and the gasoline you are putting is are plural, are the gossip. And as soon as you put the gas on the fire, you know the result, what happens, a rapid fire, you see. So this is how it, not only the person who is listening, as long as you are listening, you are also participating in the gossip, but also the person who is gossiping, both are wrapping themselves in the fire. It's detrimental for your spiritual growth, and you are accumulating karma. The person does not know you are talking about her or him, but you basically are still remaining an account closed with that person. You do not clarify, you make assumptions. You do not believe in communication. The need of communication is being replaced by nurturing your ego, if you understand. The need of communication is replaced by nurturing your ego, the sense of identity, the sense of individuality, the sense of the separate self, the illusion that lives, because this is abstract. This illusion is created because of the whole edifice of knowledge you have in your mind since the day of your birthday. Since the day of your birthday, the whole edifice of knowledge. So that makes you you. So now that has gained paramount importance. So now that has gained extreme importance, that You do not clarify, you do not communicate. Your mind, the mind of all humanity is a very limited mind. There are so many aspects, there are so many things it cannot answer. But you are in a state of compulsion. You have learned to be in a state of compulsion. You want to fill the blanks. Your mind would not let you rest because you have subscribed so much significance till it fills the blanks. So what it does, if it does not have enough facts about a situation, if it does not have enough truth about a situation, it fills the gaps with the assumptions. And you assume something about somebody because you think your ego has more significance than communication. And then what happens? You do not try to clarify. You act as passive aggressive. You give them silent treatment. Silent. You give them silent. You know what silent is. You give them silent treatment and you become passive aggressive. Within you are creating a lot of negative vibration around you, a lot of negative vibration. And then within, basically, and obviously when this is so full, just like I give you the metaphor, just like, excuse me, just like I give you the metaphor or the example of a glass or a cup, that you try and fill, you try to fill the glass or the cup with a lot of liquid, any type of liquid or water. Obviously it has limited room in the cup or the glass. So after a certain period of time, what happens, basically water start spilling out of the glass because it's full. Just like that, you have limited room within. You see, I gave you the example the other day about the rubber balloon. Just whatever the air a rubber balloon is encompassing in the balloon, it has limited room. After a certain period of time, the balloon would be popped if you just keep blowing and blowing. That's how you accommodate. That's the right word I'm looking for in English. That's how you accommodate, basically, poison within, you see, because most of you do not know life any other way. Most of you do not know how to bond in any other way. You can bond in silence with people because before you open your mouth, it's the vibration you have created and the mind that you wrap around you like a rubber band meets the other energy. Energy meets energy first. Soul, if you want to use such a word, meets soul first before you open your mouth to anyone. You can bond in silence, but for that, you need to have clarity within. For that, you need to have clarity. And both beings has to be on the same scale, more or less. And this was the normal, this was the natural order of life, you see. But because of the abstractions that you have learned and you have adopted, and those abstractions have become so strong and solid, that what was the natural or normal order for life has become like an illusion, sadly. An illusion, you see. Bonding, we do not know any other way to bond but to gossip, to talk bad about somebody who is not even there to defend themselves. You see, you are not even giving the person a chance. And as I said, it's detrimental for your spiritual growth. You do not take the right measures, and then you say meditation does not work for me. I have told you numerous times, meditation works for everybody equally. If you do it properly along with this right measures. I have mentioned to you, if meditation basically is if meditation is the sword through which not only you are taking charge on the demons and devil within and the mind, but also you it's your sword, it's your weapon, meditation, and you are using that weapon against the negative entities and the darkness. but your shield are the right measures. If you go in the battlefield without a shield, but just with the sword, chances are you would get hurt. But with sword, you use it as a weapon, but with shield, basically, you defend yourself against the culprits, if you know. With shield, you defend yourself against the people that you are in the battle with, you see, with the shield. So taking the right measures basically is are the shield that you are protecting yourself. When you meditate, you raise certain when you meditate, you raise certain type of energy. When you meditate, you raise certain type of energy within you, if you know. And what happens basically is, if you do not conserve the energy, it would dissipate. And when you meditate, and then after that you go around and you gossip about, you are not conserving the energy is going to dissipate, you see. It takes longer and longer time basically for you to raise the energy. Now in meditation, you see, you raise it, you go around, because you don't have the shield for yourself to protect. When you go around, you gossip and you do all those things which are going against the right measures, which are the dark measures, the negative measures. So you go around and you do your normal thing. You see, you want to conserve the energy, and you also want to gossip, you also want to make assumptions, you also want to draw opinions, jump into the conclusions, you also want to fill in the blanks, and then you want to keep them both. No, you cannot keep them both. Just like you cannot attain the concrete peace until unless you transcend duality. You want to keep duality, and you, in the same time, you want to attain in the same time you want to attain the concrete peace within. That is not possible. It's not going to happen. You have to get rid, if you know what I'm saying, you have to get rid of the duality in order to attain the concrete peace, which always resides within you. It's never outside. So ponder on what I said. Stopping the gossip is one of the best right measures. Among the best, I'm saying, not one of the best. Let me rephrase. Among the best measures that you would take to conserve your energy. When you are running your mouth, you are creating negative vibrations within and around. Obviously, when the cup is full, it's going to start flowing. So you go around and you start the poison. And the ears who are more or less like you, they would offer their ears to listen to your lies. And it's not only now you are responsible for the action that you perform, but through your action, the repercussions, that's the word I'm looking for, the repercussions of the actions are creating the ripple, if you understand, creating the ripple effect. A wave is being generated and giving birth to another wave, the ripple effect. Once you throw a small stone or a pebble on the surface of a silent, you know what silent is, on the surface of a silent pond, so it creates a ripple effect. So you create a negative vibe within you, then you go around. When the poison becomes so agitated within, specifically if you are not liking somebody, you're liking and disliking based on a lot of things. You're liking and disliking based on your previous karma, the previous exchange of energy in any of the lifetimes that you have lived. You're liking and disliking also based on what you are exposed to, your parents, to begin with, what kind of education they gave you, how they raised you, Racism, for instance, is something that nobody is born with as a racist. Racism, excuse me. racism is taught. When you see humans, and it's a sad thing that still there are families. It's a sad thing to know that still there are families and they are raising their kids with the very concrete awareness of discrimination. They tell their kids that if it is not the same color you share, it is not the right color. You see? So you gossip and you do all these things and you say meditation does not work for me. You see, I used to know a woman up north in Washington state when we were living over there years and years back. By the way, I don't miss anything about the Washington state. Anyway, moving on. That woman, I told her, and she said meditation does not work for me. I said once you learn not to open your mouth unnecessarily, it would work for you. What you are doing, that certain amount of energy that you are creating within, you are just letting it go. What's the point? You see, it would come, you wouldn't even get to feel the energy that you have raised, and it would dissipate, and you become frustrated and say, what am I doing wrong? But you are not looking at what you are doing wrong, you see. Or even if you are looking, maybe you refuse to accept it. Maybe you think it's harmless. Maybe you think you it's just fun to talk about bad about people. And when I go and inspect these places, I see humans every now. There is always one person who would come around. This person is not concerned about what's going on her or his life. This person is not concerned about their spiritual growth. This person is not concerned about anything. This person comes around with a set mind frame. The mind frame, basically, this person comes around is made, and it is set because of this person first was gossiping in her or his mind for numerous hours while they were laying on the bed, and the people then complain about insomnia. Specifically, if this person, whoever that is, regardless of the gender, it can be found in every gender, whoever that person is, specifically if that person is not liking the person is planning to gossip about. So they would plan, and the only motivation they have in their mind is basically to go around and spread the poison. And the listener, since has become like a gullible child, that everything the listener listens, just believe. Do not believe or disbelieve anything I have told you. If somebody tries to hook your attention by gossiping about somebody who's not present, remember one thing which is very significant. If this person can talk bad about the person who is missing in the vicinity, the person is very capable to talk about you when you are missing in the vicinity. The problem is not the people around. The problem is a nasty habit, is the weapon of is not only is the penetration, and is the weapon of the demon and devil. Do you know, gossip is not only impractical, but it has severe consequences on the growth, on your spiritual growth. And remember something, I work, I perform good job, and I am involved here, you see, here with you. And I always remember, I told you to remember the word remember, you see, remember. So I always tell you to remember that you can only have that kind of balanced life, or the balance, when you, from within, you are not cluttered. Gossip is cluttered. It is cluttering you. The only growth, you see, the only growth that I am concerned, or a yogi or a meditator is concerned, is a spiritual growth. There is no other growth for them. Because this experience, what you are experiencing, would dissipate. And you don't even know when, you see. But the one which lives on, the one which never dies, the one which never dies, basically, why it does not die? Because it was never born, you see. The one which lives on, the one which has never died, basically, because it was never born. The one which survives after this experience. and the one which survives after the body, the one which survives, I would invest rather in that, because after the body, this is something that I would have to, this is all I would have, you see. So it's only wise and practical to grow spiritually. That's one of the main thing that we yogis and sannyasis tell you, that this is something, grow spiritually. So ponder on what I said to you, about the gossip. It's a habit, it's a compulsion, you see. As you are taking charge of your compulsion, keep this compulsion on the top of your list to get rid of. What practical role it plays? Have you not ever answered when you feel the compulsion to talk bad about somebody? I'm going to ask you these questions. You should ask these questions time to time to yourself, to audit yourself. What practical role it plays? मेरे को शक्ति दे बाबा, मेरे को शक्ति दे. What practical role it is playing in your life? If you do the defamation of somebody's character based on the lies, if you do the defamation, sadly and unfortunately, of character of somebody's, about somebody, and spread lies about them, and do all these things about them, talk bad behind their back, well, no matter who you are talking about, even let's say even the other person, even you heard the gossips about you, you have the right, if you hear something, to explain or defend, but you do not have to get into a rage, you do not have to get into a fight. If you know what pleasure it is bringing in your life to talk bad about somebody. You see, if you hear something, as I just mentioned, let me elaborate on that. If you hear something that somebody said bad about you, you do not have to get into the fight. You do not have to get into a rage or anything like that. You can go and just ask the person politely and clear it, that is there something I have done wrong? Is there something that I have caused that you are upset with me? The point here is I'm trying to make, the aim is to resolve the situation as peaceful as humanly possible, you see, to dissipate the negativity, because there is already a lot of negativity. You have no idea, the dharma of this humanity is very down, but we are trying to bring it up. We, the yogis, the meditators, the sannyasis, the wise people, and all those people, our goal is the same, to bring the dharma of humanity, and that can only happen when you have clarity. You see, if you do not have clarity in your vision, you cannot see, you are not far-sighted, and you cannot see far. You see, you must have clarity so you can find your own way to the light, ultimately. It plays no practical role in your life to talk about. You get thrilled if other person who is listening to your gossip gives into it and says, yeah, you are right, then you get more and more and more thrill. It's like an addiction. It would give your mind, it would feed your mind for some time. It would give your mind some type of, um, it would give your mind some type of false high, that, ooh, looks like we are taking over on this person. But no, it's not possible. And plus, after some time, you come back to zero. You know what zero is? Have you ever seen a zero? Zero is round. After the gossip, you come back to zero, just like you drink alcohol to subside your thoughts. But you drink alcohol and you drink and drink and drink. It's no different than that. And then when you realize you drank a lot and you passed out, the following day when you wake up, it catches up with you even, with a with an more intense uh, way. You are hungover, you do not like yourself, you still don't want to peace, you face your thought, but your thoughts are very agitated now because you are having a physical reaction to your action. You see, just like that. Gossips. Imagine that alcohol is gossip. You gossip, you gossip, you gossip. After some time, you get tired, you have no energy, and the gossip is over, or for any number of circumstantial reasons, the person, the listener had to move, you see, and you are left alone, then you are back to zero. Nothing changes, you see. It's very impractical. Besides, it's very detrimental in your spiritual growth. You can get rid of it. Just like you quit smoking, just like you quit drinking, you can quit gossiping. It's not necessary, it's not natural. It's not the natural order of life that you have to gossip. As a matter of fact, it's detrimental. So please remember, and please pay attention, focus on what I said. Along with the meditation, if you take the right measures, if you do not gossip, if you do not get thrill on the differences among humans, if you like unity, if you like acceptance, if you like peace, if you get along with every color, if color does not bother you no more, if color does not make a difference in your life, then you would have a different type of energy in your daily life that you never thought existed, if you understand. So a ponder on what I said to you, okay? Please ponder about that. And if you misunderstood something, if you got confused about something, it is very possible, you see, because words are very clumsy. Words never are capable to express the truth as it is happening. Please remember that. So words are very clumsy. They literally don't have no strength to hold the magnitude of what's really happening. Words cannot define what's really happening, you see. So please remember all this that I said. If you got confused about something, you can write me. But this, I am, as I always tell you, I am as good as my words. Please know that. That's what I personally believe. I made a promise yesterday, and I said into that promise that if life allows me, I am going to deliver this message. It is like a plague, gossiping is like a plague. And not only in this society, I live in American society for the most part of my year, not only in Indian society, but in every society, if you understand what I'm saying, if in every society it is like a plague, everywhere you go, you would find people gossiping about each other. I don't know how did it start. I don't know who started that, but I know something that if you subscribe, I know something that if you subscribe too much significance to your mind, it would always be asking you to feed it, because it only exists because thought exists. The content of the thought exists. That's where it started, and that's why the same mind of humanity is everywhere. And that is the very reason we are downloading, we are catching thoughts from the same mind of humanity. And since it's the whole global mind of humanity, that's why we are gossiping. No matter what society you go, American society, Indian society, British society, Chinese society, South American society, African society, Caribbean society, no matter what society you go, you would find people like that. People like that exist regardless of color and the race and all that. This thing is not attached to your body. This disease, this disorder is not attached to your body. It is very, very attached to your soul. All right, let's meditate. You heard the bell. Oh. Oh. So here I am. So here I am making time for human race and humankind. Here we are making time for human race and humankind. Here we are trying to bring the dharma of humanity up. We are doing our best. I want you and I need you to do your part and help us. I have mentioned to you numerous times. You need to remember, okay? I have mentioned to you numerous times. You need to remember. You are expected to play a role. Just remember something always, that I love you.